Welcome to the Improve81 podcast series. I'm Michelle Earle, Communications Manager for the Virginia Department of Transportation's Bristol District. We'll be talking today about upcoming truck climbing lane projects in VDOT's Bristol District. By adding a third lane on uphill grades, of which Southwest Virginia has an abundance, truck climbing lanes have been shown to greatly improve traffic flow as well as safety. With me today are I-81 Program Delivery Director Dave Covington and Jim Jones, the project manager for 3 upcoming truck climbing lane projects in the Bristol District. Jim, let's start with you. Tell us about where the 3 truck climbing lane projects you've been designing will be located.
2 of the locations are in Washington County, one on northbound I-81 near mile marker 32 in the Glade Spring area. The second is southbound at mile marker 34 near the Smith County line. The third location is in Smith County on northbound I-81 near exit 39 in the 7 Mile Forward area. The budget for the 3 truck climbing lanes combined is approximately $48 million. This includes preliminary engineering, right-of-way acquisition, and construction.
Jim, what do you see as the current challenges for truck drivers at these locations?
All 3 locations have grades between 3 and 4%, and most of the truck traffic at these locations slows to 45 to 55 miles per hour as they climb the grade. This is a huge difference between them and the other traffic traveling at 70 miles per hour. And with truck traffic using both travel lanes, it creates a backup for motorists. And because truck traffic volumes on I-81 are high, this is a common occurrence, not just an isolated incident. Once the trucks crest the hills, it takes time for them to regain speed. The 2 northbound truck climbing lanes, one near exit 32 and one near exit 39, will be an extension of the acceleration lanes and include widening to 3 lanes about 1,000 feet beyond the crest of the hill. This gives the trucks the opportunity to regain adequate speed to merge back into the travel lanes.
And schedule-wise, Jim, will we see all 3 projects happening at one time?
The first project will be the northbound project near exit 39, near 7 Mile Forward, because VDOT already has the necessary right-of-way to construct the project. We anticipate that project being advertised for bids this summer. The Washington County projects are on a more similar schedule, with right-of-way beginning in the spring of this year and construction occurring in the summer of 2023.
Next is a question for Dave. Can you share with us some of the benefits of truck climbing lanes?
Well, Michelle, truck climbing lanes offer a lot of benefits to the public, and what we're really trying to accomplish is to significantly improve the traffic flow in a quicker time frame as compared to some of the larger corridor widening projects that we're doing along the corridor. And Jim mentioned previously the approximate cost estimate of all 3 of these projects combined at roughly $48 million, and that includes the money for designing the projects, acquiring the right-of-way, and moving utilities and constructing the projects. And in comparison to our large corridor projects, that's a rather small investment and a project that we can deliver in a pretty quick time frame. Most importantly, truck climbing lanes improve safety by limiting traffic backups and reducing rear-end collisions. It's often difficult for drivers to gauge the speed of trucks. As Jim mentioned previously, in this area, usually the trucks are traveling about 40 to 50 miles per hour up some of these grades. It's difficult for people in passenger vehicles to gauge that difference in speed. So we see an increase or resulting rear-end collisions rather frequently. Additionally, slow-moving trucks create driver frustration, and unfortunately, we frequently see drivers doing irrational things as a result of that frustration. The truck climbing lanes will help alleviate this situation and keep Virginia moving. The truck climbing lanes will be constructed behind barrier walls on the outside shoulder, so inconvenience to motorists will be minimal during the construction phase. Because these are truck climbing lanes, they do need to be constructed on the outside so that the trucks climbing the grades, moving at slower speeds, can use the right lane, while cars can use the left lane and the middle lane to pass trucks. Once the project is complete, cars will have a dedicated left lane for passing, and trucks and cars will have the middle and right lane for use.
Okay, we'll go back to Jim. Last spring, VDOT gave the public an opportunity to review the project information and give feedback about the projects. What did we learn from feedback that we received from the public?
The feedback we received from the public was positive. These projects, they've been discussed for a number of years, And I think the people who travel the interstate regularly are going to be glad to see the projects move to construction.
And as you are designing a project, Jim, in addition to the public feedback we receive, what are some of the other items taken into consideration when completing the design?
There are a lot of different things we take into consideration, like working with local officials to ensure we're addressing as many of the issues as we can, or addressing the most pressing issues first. We also review current traffic counts and traffic projections about 20 years out, and that ensures the design takes the projected traffic into consideration.
Dave will wrap up the conversation with you. Many areas of I-81 could benefit from truck climbing lanes because of the challenging terrain. Do you foresee more of these projects in the near future?
Well, I do. The topography of the western part of the state is challenging. As Jim mentioned previously, we've got 3 to 4% grades in the areas where we're talking about with these projects. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make a big difference. And we see that very frequently along the entire I-81 corridor. With more vehicles on the road, especially heavy trucks, we're experiencing more crashes in the areas of some of these more challenging grades. There's one area in particular that we have planned for a future truck climbing lane, and that's in the Weir's Cave area that's north of Stanton. We're currently working on the design of the truck climbing lanes in both the northbound and southbound direction through the Weir's Cave area, and the project is scheduled to begin construction in 2024. I'd also like to highlight two previous projects that we delivered years ago, just to provide an example. Now, these are larger projects, but I think that it's clear to see the benefit if you've driven through these areas. And the first one is in the southbound direction, climbing Christiansburg Mountain. That's a really challenging grade crossing the mountain. And so we added what appears to be a third lane, like a corridor widening project, but really it's a truck climbing lane. And we've seen massive benefits out of that project. And then similarly in Rockbridge County, we've got a truck climbing lane project that's roughly 7 miles long that provides a similar benefit where trucks are able to use that right lane and climb those long grades and enable the passenger vehicles to pass at highway speeds on the left.
Excellent. Okay. That concludes our conversation for today. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Dave, for participating. And we appreciate everyone listening to today's podcast.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.